Welcome back to Inside the USA. I'm Andrew, and with me is Emma, as always.
Hey everyone.
We were looking at Finance Buzz and saw this article about affordable homes in Arizona. When I think about Arizona real estate, I think, those million-dollar places in the desert, like in movies.
Right. Yeah. I mean, those are out there, but there's a lot of really affordable places too, like entire cities with average home prices less than $200,000.
Yeah, that surprises too. I forget, sometimes Arizona isn't just, resorts and golf. It's a big state with lots of different kinds of places and economies.
And the article shows that. It talks about towns by the US-Mexico border, cities in the desert, even some places around Phoenix.
Exactly. Let's get into it. The first city I noticed was Douglas. It's right there on the border in Cochise County.
What's cool about Douglas is it's in these mountain landscapes. The article mentions the Chiricahua Mountains specifically. They have these crazy rock formations. It seems perfect for anyone who loves being outside.
And not just hikers, right? Douglas also has a lot of cultural stuff. The Gadsden Museum is supposed to be really cool. It's all about the history there, from the Apache Wars to the mining days.
Speaking of history, you know the Gadsden Purchase, the one that added a big part of Arizona to the U.S.? It's named after James Gadsden, who lived in Douglas.
No way. See, this is why I love these things, always learning new stuff. And get this, a typical house in Douglas costs $159,430. That's less than half the average for the whole country.
Crazy, right? Okay, so if Douglas is about history and mountains, then our next stop, New Kingman Butler, is for people who love nature.
Ooh, that's more my style. Tell me more.
Well, New Kingman Butler is basically right next to the Havasu National Wildlife Refuge. Over 300 square miles of wild land. All kinds of birds, bighorn sheep, all this incredible wildlife.
That sounds amazing to photograph. I bet the stargazing is amazing too with all that open sky. What are home prices like there?
Even lower than Douglas. $153,100. Can't believe you get all that nature for that price.
Seriously. Okay, so we've got mountains, wildlife refuges. What else does Arizona have?
How about a small town, but really friendly? Let's talk about Globe, Arizona. It's a pretty small town, under 10,000 people, in Gila County.
Globe. I don't know that one. What's so special about it?
Well, it's got that classic small town vibe. Everyone knows each other. They have these local festivals. Things are slower. Plus, the average home price is just $150,400.
Okay, now that's the lowest so far. But is there anything to do in a town that small?
There's more than you think. Globe has a lot of history. It used to be a big copper mining town. They've got a whole historic district with buildings from back then.
Interesting. So you get that Wild West feel without the crazy prices. I like it.
And it's not just housing that's cheap in Globe. The article says things like food and transportation are cheaper there than other parts of Arizona, too.
So you really get more for your money there.
Hmm.
Okay, this might sound crazy, but the next city is Phoenix.
Wait, Phoenix? That's like one of the biggest cities in the U.S., right? Affordable. Are we sure we're reading the right article?
Well, yeah, when you put it like that, it sounds kind of crazy.
Mm.
But it's not talking about downtown Phoenix. It's about the suburbs.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense. So you can still get that big city energy, but at a better price. Pretty smart.
Exactly. And Phoenix isn't just, concrete and buildings. There are mountains and hiking trails and desert parks all right there in the city. Plus, there's history and culture to explore.
Yeah, Phoenix has a lot more to offer than I realized. It's definitely worth looking into, especially if you're on a budget and want a little bit of everything.
All right, let's stick with the suburbs. Next is Sun City, which is also near Phoenix.
Sun City's interesting because it was one of the first age-restricted communities in the U.S. It's built for people 55 and over.
So it's like a giant retirement community. Does that mean it's just like shuffleboard and early bird specials all the time?
Not at all. Sun City has a ton of stuff for active adults. Golf, recreation centers, pools, you name it. They even have their own fire and police departments.
Wow, sounds like they've thought of everything. What about stuff to see and do outside the community?
Well, Sun City is right by the Deer Valley Petroglyph Preserve. There are over 1,500 ancient carvings there, and it's a quick drive from all this stuff in Phoenix.
The best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And the price. Still under $200,000.
Yep. Around $199,000. And it's worth mentioning that Sun City is safer than some other parts of Phoenix. Less crime.
Nice. Safety and affordability. Okay, let's talk about a city with a little more history. Winslow, Arizona.
Winslow's in Navajo County. It's part of the Show Low metro area, and it's got tons of Native American history. It's also close to some really famous places like the Petrified Forest National Park and Monument Valley.
Monument Valley. Oh man, I want to see those big sandstone towers so badly.
They're amazing. And Winslow's a cool little town, too. It used to be a big stop on Route 66. They even have a statue of the Eagles song, Take It Easy. You know, the one about standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona.
Uh-huh. That's awesome. So you can get those classic road trip vibes and see some amazing nature. How much are houses in Winslow?
Pretty reasonable, $169,900. Winslow has retirees and families, so there's a good mix of people and stuff to do.
Okay, this is great. Where to next on our affordable Arizona tour?
Let's go south to San Luis, Arizona. It's another border town. This one's in Yuma County. It's right on the Colorado River, really close to California and Mexico.
Wow, talk about location. You could have breakfast in Arizona, lunch in California, and dinner in Mexico all in one day.
Right. And it doesn't cost much to live there either. It's no wonder San Luis has a lot of families and retirees. It's also a popular spot for people escaping those bad winters up north.
Speaking of escaping winter, how are the summers in San Luis? I'm imagining it's super hot out there in the desert.
You're not wrong. Yuma County is known for hot, dry summers. But hey, that's what air conditioning is for, right? And the good news is houses in San Luis are still around our $200,000 target.
All right, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Arizona's got a lot of affordable places just waiting to be discovered.
It really does. And we've got even more to explore. How about a town called Golden Valley? It's in Mojave County in the northwest part of the state.
Golden Valley, huh? What's that one like?
Well, it's another one of those laid-back desert towns that's all about being outside. You can hike, ride ATVs, explore ghost towns.
Wait, ghost towns? Tell me more.
Yeah, Mojave County is full of them. These old mining towns that were abandoned. It's like stepping back in time. And of course, Golden Valley has a really affordable housing market.
Let me guess. Under $200,000.
Way under. It's almost 50% cheaper than the average for the U.S.
Wow. That's amazing. It's like finding a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow.
Yeah.
Or maybe a pot of gold in the middle of the desert. That's probably a better analogy.
Yeah. Ready for our smallest town yet?
Let's hear it. The smaller the town, the bigger the savings, right?
Seems that way. This one's called Clifton. It's in Greenlee County in southeast Arizona. It's tiny. Only 2,500 people live there.
Wow, that's small town living for sure. I bet everybody knows each other there. Is there anything to do in a town that small, though?
Clifton is on the Gila River, so fishing is popular. And there's some history nearby, like the Coronado Trail Scenic Byway. It follows the route of this Spanish explorer from way back.
Okay, so it's got history, nature, and an unbelievably low median home price, I'm guessing.
You got it. The average home in Clifton costs $118,500. That's crazy cheap.
Really? You could buy a house for the price of a parking spot in some cities. Arizona never ceases to amaze me.
It really doesn't. Okay, we've got time for one more town before we take a break. Have you heard of Bisbee, Arizona?
Bisbee, yeah, I've heard of it. Isn't that a former mining town? Kind of artsy now?
That's it. Bisbee was a big copper town, and when the mines closed, it became like an artist colony. It's full of galleries, boutiques, and kind of quirky shops.
Sounds like my kind of place. And the architecture must be amazing with all those old buildings.
Oh yeah, they've kept a lot of those Victorian buildings. Bisbee is also known for its natural beauty. It's surrounded by mountains and canyons.
Okay, you sold me. What about the home prices there?
It's more than some of the others, but still pretty good. $196,000.
Not bad at all,
Yeah.
especially considering everything Bisbee has to offer. But first, we want to hear from you. Have you ever thought about living in Arizona?
Yeah, let us know. Which of these cities are you interested in and why? Tell us in the comments. And another thing is, Arizona has a really unique culture. It's a mix of like Native American, Hispanic, and Anglo influences.
We saw that with all the different cities we talked about. Every place, from those border towns to those artsy towns, has its own feel.
Right. That's part of why I think Arizona is so cool. It really has something for everyone.
It sounds like Arizona has it all. Affordable living, beautiful nature, and a lot of culture.
It really does. But like we said before, you got to do your research and make sure it's the right place for you. Think about what you like, how much money you have, and what kind of community you want.
And if you decide to move there, be ready for those super hot summers and a lot of sunny days.
But most importantly, be ready to love all the things that make Arizona special.
All right, everyone. That's all for our Arizona adventure. We hope you enjoyed learning about these affordable cities with us.
And we hope we've maybe inspired you to think about Arizona for your next home.
Don't forget to subscribe to Inside the USA for more episodes about cool places all over.
And leave us a comment telling us which city in Arizona you're most interested in. We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time, safe travels.